Hi, one SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. He's Mike Brenner. We're the Odds Couple. We come to you from SportsbookReview.com. Today is Tuesday, October 11th. This is the MLB Odds Couple show for the two baseball games in the two playoff games today. And we're doing this a little bit later than we usually do it because one of the games, there were some starting pitching mind games going on. Was it going to be Urias? Was it going to be Clayton Kershaw? Then the Nats were like, is it going to be Ross or Reynoso? And they were, just totally going back and forth, not announcing who they were starting. Exactly. I guess they were discussing it amongst themselves as well.
And I found out that it was, literally a Dave Roberts versus, Dusty Baker. It was head games between managers and wanting to, no one wanted to reveal who they were going to start because it was going to affect the lineups. But you know what? The only ones, there's no one in that scenario more nervous than the bettors, the bookies, and everybody else. The players, they don't give a shit. But,
because the lines have to be put out. And if the books hang a line where, someone with inside information knows something that's very valuable, they'll get hit quickly. And it has been decided. It's going to be Clayton Kershaw against Joe Ross, as you would expect. The Dodgers are a massive favorite, up in the minus 200s. It's a must-win game for them. I don't know, man. Even in the regular season, if you have a team against a 100-loss team, that's a huge favorite like that. It's a little bit fishy. Now, in the playoffs, when Washington's already beaten the Dodgers twice, and Kershaw gave up 3 runs in 5 innings in his last start against Washington, how can they be this big of a favorite here?
I'm going to throw another one on top of you. And he's going to be pitching on 3 days rest. All right. And they say they're comfortable with that at home. Had it been a road game, they would give the start to Urias. But you know what? Here's the bottom line. You nailed it. His first game, he didn't look all that impressive.
I mean, he was okay, but
Washington,
he has a career-wide history of not doing well in the playoffs.
Absolutely. It's that stigma that David Price has, and rightfully so. Until you prove it wrong and then you prove it on the field, people will say what they're going to say. But yes, that line is absolutely, I think I would be appalled. But you know what? I don't think there's anybody happier or anybody quieter than the Washington Nationals. Last night, they picked up some heavy mojo when Jason Worth, who is the clubhouse leader, he's the vocal leader of that team, and you know me, Pete, I love the emotion of it. He just nailed it with that home run last night, and they said last night he sat everybody down and had a big focus with the managers. It wasn't a player only, but after all the cheer and everything, he was the one that settled everybody down and said, that meant nothing. All right, now that's rearview mirror. Let's move forward. So this team's coming out believing, hey, we can get this done. I think this might be a spot to jump on the dog at that number.
Yeah.
And after my 2 picks yesterday with Boston, I can't do any worse than that.
Well,
and you know what? That's one of them bets, Pete. I'm okay if it loses. Yeah. But shame on them for not stepping up for Big Papi. I didn't cover, but it is what it is. This is the nature of the beast of this business.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've said this many times in hockey and in the NBA and even in football bowl season and in college basketball. I love the playoffs, sometimes a lot more than the regular season. In baseball, it's total opposite. I don't really bet the postseason that much because there's a whole bunch of just sort of different factors. Like, for instance, just the time between innings is more than in the regular season.
Yep.
So
it's all about that dollar with the advertising, and the innings do extend, and that changes everything.
And it's just very weird. Though there's so many games in the regular season, and all of a sudden there's so few games in the Major League Baseball postseason, and it's a very different psychological situation. So I tend to stay off but I'll get picks on it.
On a lean, I would probably, you know what, Pete? I might even I think there's just too much mojo picked up last night from Washington, and on top of that, this Dodgers batting order has been a little bit quiet as well, all right? They're really, really underachieving right now, so it might be in their heads. I don't know. I'm thinking about why not just take a money line with what's the best shop line for Washington?
For Washington right now, it would be plus 220.
Jeez, Pete, you got to be kidding me.
I mean, this isn't like...
You know what? I'm going to take Washington on the second half.
Right.
That's what I want, because if Kershaw has anything in the tank, you know what? Because last night they went through a lot of give me Washington on the second half.
Mike's having a revelation on camera.
Well, they went through some relievers. Okay, they went through the bullpen's been tested. All of a sudden, they expect Kershaw to go distance. I don't think that's happening, especially with his first game. Yeah. Plus, he's off 3 days rest. Second half makes sense. That's where Washington.
And you know what I'm doing? I'm giving Washington first half. I'm giving Washington second half.
Hey, what's the team total?
The team total for Washington would probably be 3.
I gotta have it. I gotta have it.
Team total over.
I love it.
All right.
Pistol. Pete, this is a great show today. Yeah, I'm seeing profit all over this thing. I'm not kidding you.
People are getting to see a vision of you in the process of getting fired up. This is going
coming off of a loss, but I love bounce back opportunities, Pistol.
All right, so you're on Washington second half and the team total over.
Yes.
I'm going to be on Washington first half, Washington second half, and Washington +1 on the game. Jeez. Now let's talk about the second one. The Cubs in San Francisco. The Cubs are up 2-1. San Francisco. I read this stat which kind of blew my mind a little bit. San Francisco has won 10 straight elimination games in a row in the postseason.
Yep.
This one, Lackey, obviously, I trust him a little bit more just because he's been through this a million times. Close the season well, but he's also a guy who has control issues, and if anything is going to bring that out again in him, it might be the playoff atmosphere here.
And the curse of the curse, yeah.
I don't know. I would lean Cubs here, but this one I'm staying off of. What do you think?
Well, because what happened last night is exactly why what you just said 3 minutes ago about, playoffs for hockey and all, I get excited, but when it comes to this, I stay off. That's exactly why you feel that way, and I believe that. Last night, I mean, I didn't have a bet on it, didn't have a play on it. Well, no, actually, I did have the Cubs on the money line, I think. No, I didn't actually, just Boston. Here's the deal. I was kicking back as a fan. They were up 4 or 5 to 1, and I said, okay, here's the Cubs being the Cubs. Then I wake up, I get to work this morning very early. I pop my computer on. Joe Panic hits a walk-off double, like in the 11th, 12th, or 13th or something like that. They came back and won. This team, even though after All-Star break they took a shit, Pete, they had the worst record. They weren't cashing tickets.
They took a shit after the All-Star break?
They were shitting eggs left and right on tickets. They were just absolutely, I mean, and the first half of the season, they looked brilliant. But the same way you said they're 10-0 now in elimination games, this team has something that happens during postseason like no other team I've ever seen, except for the New York Giants. You could compare it to a Super Bowls, going as an 8-8, as an underdog and winning. All right, this is kind of what they do. So I got to stay off this game.
Yeah.
I got to stay the hell off this game.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't at all be surprised if Moore has major control issues, or if he comes in and throws 7 shutout innings and the Cubs, people are like, what the hell happened to the Cubs bats? And just,
but guess what? There is one edge. You know what, Pete?
What's
I love this. And you are seeing the whole thing today because I can't make this up. Joe Madden was the manager for Moore for many years in Tampa. He knows this guy inside and out. This is hitting me like a brick in the head. He if anybody knows how to go up against a pitcher, it's Joe Madden. When it's his own pitcher he's going up against, and he loved the kid. You know what? I'm pulling the trigger. What's the Cubbies just full game money line?
The Cubs full game money line. Best line right now would be minus 120 at the Greek.
I'm taking it. You know why? He knows the batting order to put up against this kid. If anybody does, it's him. And he sounded really confident with what I heard before he stepped into this room with his pregame comments. And he is very, very, very confident that his team will be wrapping this thing up
Lackey
today.
is the definition of a consummate veteran who's not going to be fazed by the playoffs. And Moore, again, control issues can rear their ugly head, at any time.
And if there's anything that could stop maybe a 10-game elimination streak is the fact that you got another one back-to-back.
Yeah.
So maybe that is something that they faced in those 10. I don't know, but you know what? San Francisco, the second half of the season, was very inconsistent. We all know that. So why can't they be like that in the postseason? Even though they do get some kind of magic, I don't understand, and it's hitting me. I love it.
Coming up Tuesday on SportsBet, a wild game between the Cubs and the Giants. The Indians sweep the Red Sox. The Nationals take this 2-1 series lead over the Dodgers. Monday Night Football recap and big game breakdown. Broncos and Chargers. And another winner with Play of the Day. It's coming up Tuesday on SportsBet. Betting Insight today.
All right, Mike Brenner, playoff baseball.
Hey.
Always very interesting. And we come, of course, from sportsbookreview.com. What is sportsbookreview.com? It's a guide for every sportsbook that exists right now. Ratings and reviews, in-depth discussion of what makes a sportsbook have the rating that it has. Sportsbookreview.com. Go there to find out everything you need.
It's the Better Business Bureau of this industry, no doubt about it. Pistol Pete, I love doing videos with you.
Do your research before you bet. Check out our ratings guide to see which books have the best ratings and sign-up bonuses. Open up several accounts. Shop for lines at sbrodds.com. Always be ahead of the game.